Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I have a great rack. I have bingos here. I have Skyurid, which duplicates a tile on my rack for 74, and this is a pretty good pickup. It looks jolly close to a bingo. Do I have one? Not seeing a 7, but a ton of floaters. I have motorized through the S. What about the D? No, not seeing anything there. How about the R? Gosh, well, there could be. I'm just not seeing it. This does look like it makes quite a few 8s. How about the C? Wow, so only motorized so far. That could easily be blocked. I would have meter through an E, but no 8. I'm coming back to the D. That feels like it should be the most useful. But I'm not seeing a bingo there. Wow, an opponent blocks motorize, I think. Yep, he does. And the vowels don't look particularly useful. Toric is good, so a 7 could play, but Tumia, Mutia, I don't think are good. Wow, always hard to break up a rack which is this bingo-y. Am I sure there's no bingo? What about the U? I have the out prefix. And Euro. No, and does motorize have an anagram? Well, not that's coming to mind, so I need to sort this rack out. I can do that with Tyre is quite a good rack leave. Only 14 points. I can't really play my M next to the U. And get rid of the O's, which I want to do. Is quite good. It doesn't really provide anything. Its main problem is the lack of score, but the rack leave is good. I'm going with this. Pretty good. This looks jolly close to a bingo. Do I have one? And I think Skyurid takes an S. So any bingo would play in column 10 at the moment. I have Ditzia and Dirties and Tidiers, so they all play. And Toric is good. So some are all play in row C as well. Now opponents played a Y, 43 points. Y does go in front of OU. Does the Y provide anything for me in row A? I don't think it does. The problem with column 10 bingos is that they don't get doubled. So where are the other hotspots to consider? How about a play beginning with U? Nope, not seeing anything. What about beginning MI? Nope, not seeing anything. So what were the plays I saw? Do I want to fork the board? Probably not. So I have Tidiers for 72. And, well, not terrible. May not be a bingo here, but I do have a couple of vowels and some scoring tiles, so hopefully I can keep the scoring going. So I have Fang on my rack. It would be nice to play off both of my high-scoring tiles and one of the N's. I have the ING ending. So I have Phoning in row E. Not a massive score, but there's nothing worth hanging on to on this rack. How about column 5? Zap is good. So do I have anything ending PH? No, I don't think I do. Does the Y give me anything? No, I don't think so. And it looks like it could do, but I'm not seeing anything. So, opponent makes their play, 21 points. So, phoning still available. And that doesn't really provide anything great for opponent. So that's 24. Even more if I spell it right. 26. Is this really best? And do I really have nothing in row A? So I have hip, HYP, but does that have a 4-letter extension? No, I'm going, well, am I going back to phoning? Zag is good, so a play could end GH. Wow, I could be missing a much better play here. Phoning feels fairly lame. Out takes an A after it. Out takes an H in front. Well, any play in row F is not going to leave a good rack leave. This may be a long way off best, but I am going with phoning. And I draw a lot of vowels, no scoring tiles, so this isn't great. And I'm not seeing a way of scoring well with the Y. And column 8, well, that's more consonant friendly than vowel friendly. Still 1 blank to come. I'm not sure if phoning takes an S. I don't think it does. So I do have, well, I have agitate in row B for about 9 points, so that's not great. What about this outer spot? Well, I have nothing to go after O-R-E. But I could play Tega, keeping double E. Only 14 points, but when you've only got 1-point tiles, your options are limited. One good thing about phoning is that it stops opponents scoring highly in column 5 with the Z. Do I really have nothing in row A? Nothing goes in front of Tsar, so column 2 plays are limited and give quite a lot away. So I could play Age in that spot. Wow, 48 points provided by phoning, but I still lead by 60. And I do have this tiger spot, which is quite nice because outer doesn't take anything after it. But what about scoring off this Y? Do I really have nothing through that? I have G-A-Y. What about a 4-letter play? No, I'm just not seeing anything. Can't see anything down from the S, but that would provide a lot of floaters in any event. So I'm going with Tiger for 16. More vowels, often the case. When you keep only vowels, and no scoring tiles either. But probably still too good to change. And of course the Y is a quasi-vowel, so that explains why I'm not having many row A options. Only my O goes in front of the U. So what do I have through the G? Well, I have adage. That's not great. Wow, I have 6 vowels. That is a lot. Going to be very hard to avoid leaving myself with 3 vowels this turn. And my lead fairly slender. If opponent bingos, we're going to be level. Fortunately, the board not massively bingo friendly. There's row J for face value bingos, and there's the floating G. Wow, opponent doesn't need a bingo to catch me. He's piling on the points. So, what to do? Really, really tricky rack. Adage, opponent is scoring 40 points and I'm scoring 16 for Tiger, and I'm contemplating another low score now. I have nothing which goes after ZA. What about a play in row K? So I or O would need to go after the G. No, not seeing anything. Is there really no way of playing more vowels through the G? I don't think there is. What about a play in row B? I did have audio. That doesn't work because of MD. What about a play through K and D? No. I am minded to change. Just not seeing anything which scores over 20 points. And I'll keep DE. Great, I draw the second blank. And, well, I may not have a bingo this turn, but I'm not miles away from one. Do I have a 7-letter bingo with this rack? Pretty unlikely. Might end ED. Yeeve and yeeved are both good. They both play in row J for not very much. Opponent breathing down my neck at the moment. Do I have anything with the G? Well, opponent slows down, fortunately, takes out that G. I've still got this spot in row J for yeeve and yeeved. Quite tempting. Well, score's not massive, but the floaters can be useful for me, and I'm not providing anything great for opponent. Opponent can't play in row K because there are no 2-letter V words. And column 1's got to look pretty hot for me with blank and E. I don't think I have anything this turn. Am I missing anything big by playing yeeved? Certainly with the blank, I'm looking to get rid of the Y and the V. So, well, yes, I could play jive. Yeeved is 21. Well, jived is going to be a similar score. I'm going with... Am I? Yeah, jived leaves 2 E's. There are still 5 to come. I quite like having 1 E blank rather than 2. Ah, word invalid. Interesting. Oh, maybe YEVE is invalid. I'm going to go straight to this. Jived for 26. And this was the problem with keeping 2 E's, is that I'm back to having a vowel heavy rack, but I was unlikely to bingo with the X. So with the X, I'm looking for score. I can play Vex. I'm hanging on to a 30-point lead. There could be a bingo here. Unlikely. If I did, it would probably begin EX. And where are the floating consonants? Opponent has taken out column 1 as a bingo lane. So this rack plus a V for row L. Not seeing anything. What about a D? Again, not seeing anything. Zax is good. Interesting, because Vex does set up some scoring spots, a 3-letter lane and also column 15 because of VEXT. What I could do is play X here for 28, which is actually more points. Still vowel heavy, but quite a friendly vowel heavy. Let me check the remaining vowels. 14 out of 34, so actually this isn't terrible. And there are floating consonants in jived. Am I missing somewhere hotter for the X? So what about X and DE? 29 points, one more point. And I can't extend that any further. Yeah, I'm just not seeing anything massively better for my X. I'm going with this. Well, I draw an S, which is good. But I'm still top heavy with vowels, which is annoying. Shame about yeaved not being good. So what am I going to do here? Well, it's tempting to play off just OE for a low score, but I'm then still keeping a vowel-heavy rack. An opponent's just played off 3 consonants. But he has provided an opportunity for me to score a bit better. So I can play Evo here for 23, keeping a jolly good rack leave. Surely I'm bingoing after this, and row N is available for DE plays. Can I do any better? I don't think so. I am going with this. Wow, so I have Phi Joas with the blank as an F, which plays in column 13. And row K. Fantastic. If opponent doesn't bingo and I can get that down, I think I'm in a strong position. Only 19 tiles in the bag. And Def is good, so I've actually got 3 separate spots for my bingo. And MILF is good, so Phi Joas plays in row J, well, exactly where opponent has played. And opponent has taken out 2 of the lanes. Fortunately, column 13 remains available, but doesn't get doubled. Wow, this is interesting, because there is a way of getting this play doubled. $84 points, putting an S in 4th place. Wow. Big call, and, well, even if opponent doesn't have a bingo, even if opponent doesn't have a 9-timer triple-triple, he could have a bingo. But tempting. My lead is only 19 points. This would give me a 100-point lead. And it would force opponent to play. He could play Canat through the A for a big score. So do I have any options here? Any alternatives to Phi Joas? Well, anything in column 13 is just going to score the same. Yeah, and if I play Phi Joas in column 13, I'm sticking an I next to this double letter square. Opponent could play chins. I think I'm coming back to grabbing the points. I think I can survive 1 bingo. I think a 9-timer is going to kill me, but I'm not sure that's massively likely. I am going with this. Great, I don't draw the cue. Opponent may have it. Well, he may have Canat. My rack leave isn't terrible. It's non-bingo-y. But I have Gorps in column 15. If opponent does play Canat, then that takes out that play. I don't have an I for going next to the Q. Okay, so opponent does bingo, but I don't think this is terrible for me. He still trails by 30, only 2 in the bag. He's probably got the Q. No massive Q spots. What can I do with my rack? So I have Plu. 47 points. That is big. That is a big score. Could opponent... And I'm emptying the bag, but I think that's inevitable. The alternative would be to play just one tile. But my lead is only 30 points, so I think I do want to score. If opponent does bingo, well, good luck to him. So what if I drew Q and A, Q and N, Q and O? Well, I'm not seeing a bingo for opponent, and the floaters on the board may duplicate tiles he has. Anything better than flu? Well, I think flu does the job. What's opponent going to do with the Q? Fortunately, no I, otherwise he could have chins in row O. He does have chi, but I'm not bothered about that. He can only get that to score once. I am going with plu. Great, I do not have the Q. Fantastic, that means opponent's got it. It means he's not bingoing. And that should mean that the game is won. Fantastic. So, can I go out in one? Wow, maybe not. I have grands on my rack. The game is won. I lead by 50, so I could play grands holding on to an S in row O. But it would be nice to go out if I can. Where are the lanes for 5 tiles? Dib takes an S. So, do I have an SI play? Wow, I don't think I do. Where else could 5 tiles play? Through the N? No. With the D? No. It would have to begin DN. Nothing goes in front of Tiger. Or Zax. Okay, so I think I will play grands. I just need to check that I've got 2 outs for my N, UN and AN. So I do 21 points. And opponent with a lot of vowels, so I don't think he's going out. In which case, possibly holding on to 2 tiles would have been better than 1, because it would provide me the option to score more. So what's the best I can do with this N? UN is 4. New, 7. Yeah. Well, opponent takes that spot, 22 points, but I lead by 49. Own not available. 4 minutes on my clock. So this is what I'm thinking. Can I get more than 4 points with my N? No, I don't think I can. I'm going with this. And the final score, 382 for my opponent, 439 for me, a winning margin of 58 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. And I think that margin was wrong, 57 points of spread. So it was me to go first, and I played Skyurid for 74 and a ton of other options. Opponent plays Auric. Now, no missed bingo. Fantastic. I thought there may be. I play for 14. Keeping Tyre, which is a good rack. E3. Ah, wow. I could have played parallel to Auric, and that would have been a better play. 6 more points with the same leave. Opponent's rack plays Yuts. And now these are the bingos. Ah, Dirtiest gets the D tripled. What do? I play Tidiest for 72, so yeah, maybe a couple of points dropped there. Opponent plays Telly. And I play Phoning for 26, but F3, Graph available. I saw Hout, but I didn't properly consider Pout and Whore, so Graph for 36 would have been Well, worth doing, but not 10 points better because the duplicate N hits that by 5 and O is worse than A. So I think graph may be just a few points better. Opponent's rack. Wow. Missed bingo. Plays Burko, but B1 had bulkier through the U and J9 bulkier and Deb. Wow, what a let-off. Opponent is a strong player, but so it's always great when strong players miss plays. Gives you more of a chance of winning. Oh, look at this. There was a vowel dump in row A, IE for 27. What do? I play Tiger for 16, which doesn't even scrape onto this list. But I think IE is the standout play. Opponent goes in that spot. I'm still plagued with vowels. Oaked available. Yeah, definitely worth doing. And I think this is where I change. So oaked would have been better. And adagio would have played off one more vowel. Now, not a great rack for opponent. Plays vulgo. And yeah, so yeeve is good. It just doesn't take a D. Interesting. So maybe I should have played yeeve rather than jived, because jived keeps double E blank, yeeve keeps DE. But there again, yeeved scores 7 more, and E is not a bad tile to be duplicated. And floaters are good if you've got the blank, so I like my play. Opponent plays Hui, taking out column 1. No bingo for me. J9, X and D for 29. And I get 1 fewer point, so I'm happy with my play. Opponent is short of vowels, but fortunately makes a play which gives me Evo for 23. And L3, I could have played E for 5 more points. Yeah. And although AES better than EOS, I don't think there's a 5-point difference. Opponent plays Dib. And now here we go. Phi Joe is the only bingo in 2 spots. And I go for the higher scoring one, which does give opponent a bingo, but it's not fatal for me. In fact, he provides a super scoring spot in column 15. Wow, pre-law available. That is nice. 62 points and Gorper. So yeah, I was pleased with Plu, but I would have been pleaseder with these top plays. Opponent a long way from a bingo and with the Q, which is wonderful to see. Plays Chin. No out for me, and I play Grands for 21. Opponent plays Raja, and finally, what do? Oh wow, I drop a point. I play Un for 4, but J10. Ben available for 5. So pressure getting to me at the end there. So absolutely super game. We were jolly close. Opponent was breathing down my neck, and I felt he was catching me with 40-point plays while I was struggling with vowel-heavy racks and either changing or getting less than 20. But my fortunes did turn around when I drew the second blank and got Fijoas down and survived the risk of opponent catching me with a big bingo or a big Q play and hung on for the win. So absolutely fantastic fun. Many thanks to my opponent for a good battle. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.